Okay.
Now then.
Okay.
And thank you.
You're welcome.
There will be an opportunity, once again, in this sharing, to exchange the idea of questions in whatever way you wish. But before that moment comes, allow us to communicate an idea to you, once again, that we would like to call the span. This involves the idea of a span of time and timing that is now upcoming on your planet. What you call the years of 2010 to 2015, a 5-year span that represents the idea of a great acceleration in energy, a great opportunity of a doorway that opens now for heightened creativity and exponential expansion. The idea that we have been discussing with you for quite some time now, as you know time to exist, where we have mentioned, where we have sensed and shared the idea, the concept that, as many of you know, things are accelerating, and that when you align with your joy, when you act on your excitement, you will flow in harmony with this acceleration, riding the leading edge, riding the wave forward to allow for increased manifestation, synchronicity, and experience of those things that are representative of what you are passionate about, of what you are excited about. And there have been times when we have also reminded you that as things are accelerating, that should you choose to not act on your joy, to not act on your passion as quickly as you can, that this accelerated wave would continue to progress, and that for some there may be a great deal more difficulty in catching up to your dreams if you do not allow yourselves the opportunity to act now on your excitement. Well, that time has come. And many individuals are now finding it more difficulty in their lives by not having acted sooner on their joy, by not having trusted the relationship of their higher self. The idea is that it is never too late, and you can always transform. For this is not said in any way, shape, or form, nor meant in any way, shape, or form to frighten you, to judge you, but simply to let you know that this is physics, that energy is involved, and that for every choice and action there is a consequence. And therefore, if you are still choosing to, as you say, resist your natural selves, to drag your feet, to not act on those things you know in your heart are representative of who you really are, then as this energy accelerates, as it expands, it will also expand any resistance, any negativity. It will amplify and magnify it tenfold, 100-fold. Because as we have said, by analogy, the higher your frequency goes, the more efficient, in a sense, you become. Then anything that does not belong will stand out and freeze the entirety of the forward motion. The analogy that we have used in your technology is the idea of the precision engine. Back when your engines were relatively simple, it did not really much matter how dirty they were. They would still operate because they simply had a few things to do. They operated on low frequencies. But now that you are operating on high frequencies, like a high precision engine, you have very little tolerance for things that don't belong. The smallest speck of dust in a high precision engine will freeze the entire action until that dust is cleaned out. Now, more than ever, the accelerated energy is becoming so refined, of such a high vibration, that it is more important than ever to let go of those things that do not belong in your field, in your attitudes, in your behaviors, in your energies. To let go of the ways that you do not prefer to be, and to smoothly harmonize with your joy, your passion, and relax into your natural self. Now more than ever. For as this energy accelerates through the span, it will, for those who continue to resist, who continue to act in ways that are not commensurate with their true selves, it will become difficult even more so to catch up to yourself. We do not wish you to experience this degree of struggle, strife, suffering, confusion. But the idea, of course, is that it is always in your hands. It is always your choice, and we cannot do it for you. You must do it for yourself. You must meet us and your higher self halfway in order to form a true partnership, in order to be able to receive the information, the energy. You are always being sent. You never, ever have to ask us to send you anything. You never, ever have to invite us to send you any energy, to help you at all. We have been invited and we have been sending to the fullest of our capacity. If it does not appear that you are receiving it, look to the antenna. Clean the receiver. Upgrade the vibration and the sensitivity of your capability to perceive the energy that has always been and always is being and always will be sent to you without fail, without let up. We urge you to do this, but it is up to you. In the years to come, in this span, as you approach the threshold crossing of your year of 2012, when you tip the scale from going from a slightly overwhelmingly negative collective energy to a slightly overwhelmingly positive collective energy, you can work toward, build toward that moment, that crossing, by aligning with yourselves more fully, so that when the tipping of the scales occurs, and for the first time in a long time, the collective energy of your world is finally slightly positive. You can then ride with that accelerating, snowballing energy that will continue to accelerate forward and expand forward from that point forward in time. This is the critical span. This is the eye of the needle. This 5 years, 5 being the number of humanity. Make it count. Make it count. Make it count. As you do, allow yourself to act on the synchronicities that will expand and explode into your lives without hesitation. Allow yourselves to enjoy, to relax in your style of communication with yourself and with others. Allow yourself to know that you will know what you need to know when you need to know it. You will always be supported in whatever way you need to be supported. Do not spend time worrying, for that then will be the energy that will amplify. Again, it is up to you. But in this span, you will find new things will begin to happen as you shift from reality to reality, from parallel Earth to parallel Earth. As we have already said, in your year of 2012 will be the ending of the quarantine, where our civilizations will no longer need to have a hands-off policy on your planet. Again, of course, this does not mean there will be mass landings everywhere the next day. But what it does mean is that the rate at which the process proceeds that leads up to open contact will be, from that point forward, completely in your hands. We will no longer be prevented from having open contact with you because of our own quarantine. You will be the sole determiners of when your vibration is ready, and we will read that energy easily. And as we have said, as we read the energy now, the most likely culmination of the window for open contact will be starting after your year of 2015. There will start to be individuated contacts, more here and there. There will be more sightings here and there of the first group that will form eventually open contact with all of you, that which we have in our ancient language called the Shalanaya, which means the first ones, that which in their own language they call themselves as the Yael. You have seen their ships. You will see more of their ships. Until you get used to the idea that you are not alone. Until you get used to the idea that you do not need to fear. Remember that you are your governments. There is no separation. Imbue the idea of your organizations, your governments, with the notion that you are ready and willing for open contact. Become those governments. Take back your power in a loving, balanced, energetic, and creative way. Exemplify and express your willingness to exist in a world where there is no fear of interacting with that which represents the things you have hidden away and compartmentalized in your consciousness for so long. Negotiate with the ego structure of the government and let them know that they have only done their best to represent that which you have elected them to do. Protect you from your fear. Let them know they no longer need to do that job. That you are willing to now process yourself these ideas and no longer fear to meet all of the things within you that require integration in order for you to accelerate your energy to the point where we can meet you face to face. Over time, through this span, as you accelerate your energy, as you become into more harmonious relationship with your higher selves through this 5-year span, then from 2015 on, as the individual contacts accelerate, then after your year of 2025 to 2033 will be the most likely window, as we read the energy now, for true global open contact to occur somewhere within that framework of time. But it will require, to stay on this agenda, it will require that you use this 5-year span, the number of humanity, to fully integrate your relationship with your higher selves as best as you can. To give up the things that don't work for you as best as you can. To honor even those things that have not worked for you as best as you can, so that you can equalize them in your energy and move on to something else without judgment, without fear, without invalidation. This 5-year span is critical for you to become more of the whole people that you are. Become a whole person. Become the human being, the true human being. Allow yourself, therefore, to recognize that within this 5-year span, there will be challenges that will, as you say, crop up. And as they do, we urge you to face them with the neutrality that is representative of the balance between you and your beliefs, and to imbue them with positive meaning so that you can always transform them, no matter what they are, into positive effect in your lives. And to build on this year after year, acting on your joy year after year in this 5-year span, until such time as you are crystallized in 2015 as a whole person, functioning with their whole being, balanced between their physical mind and higher mind, and the neutral balance point in the center from which you will move through life. And opening your hearts to yourselves most of all, to loving yourselves most of all, for you deserve to. For again, if you did not, you would not exist. Trust that the unconditional love of all that is that has created you, trust that you are worthy of it. Or again, you would not exist. Relax into the knowingness that you are supported eternally, immediately. Relax into the understanding that creation is instantaneous. Everything you do is created immediately. The only reason it may not seem to be so is because you are not creating as much difference from one moment of creation to the next, and making the illusion of slow process. But every moment is a new moment, and every change is a complete change, and every creation is an immediate creation. Therefore, you do not need to learn how to speed up creating things. You need to learn how to make the next creation more different from the one that was there a moment ago, so that you can recognize how quickly you are creating, how quickly you are shifting, how quickly you are changing through the parallel realities. It is the degree of difference between one moment and the next that tells you that you are moving quickly, that you are creating immediately. When you have a very little degree of difference between one creation and the next, you cannot tell that you have an immediate creation, because you are lost in the continuity of space-time. Kenneth has shared a download with us of an idea that would, if kept in the heart, would help remind you of how malleable your space-time is, how flexible your reality creation is. And we thank you, Kenneth, for your participation in this download. Kenneth.